Hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we will go over solving the first SSRF lab using AI. The title of the lab is Basic SSRF Against the Local Server. This is the lab description. This lab has a stock check feature which fetches data from an internal system. To solve the lab, change the stock check URL to access the admin interface at http:/localhost/admin and delete the user Carlos. When we access the lab, we have a home page with a list of products. If we select the product and click View Details and scroll down, there's a Check Stock button. When we click it, we get the number of units in stock. This Check Stock button is where the stock check feature lies, and it is the vulnerable feature in this lab. So in the manual solution, we use Burp Suite to intercept the check stock request, send it to repeater. In repeater, there's a stock API parameter. The value of the stock API parameter is a link that we change to http localhost admin. Then we access the admin panel, get the URL path to delete the Carlos user. We append it to the updated value of the stock API parameter, which is localhost/admin, send it, and the user Carlos is deleted. Now we will do the same using AI. However, first there are important notes to cover. AI is used after the manual solution, not instead of it. In another video, we've solved the lab manually, and I recommend that you go through the manual solution first before attempting the AI solution. The goal is to compare human reasoning versus AI assistance, and real security skills and capability come from understanding the vulnerability, knowing why something works and why it doesn't, recognizing when AI is wrong. With that said, I've already solved it using AI, and I'll go through the solution now. What I did was, in repeater, I highlighted the stock API parameter and its value, and I clicked this Burp AI button. Here we can add a prompt. So the prompt I added was the description of the lab. This lab has a stock check feature which fetches data from an internal system. To solve the lab, change the stock check URL to access the admin interface at localhost/admin and delete the user Carlos. Then I hit enter. This is the button. Start AI task. When this happens, the task starts here, and you can find it in the dashboard. This is the task summary. This is the prompt, and these are the steps. The first step was testing baseline stock check functionality. So the AI says, I need to first understand the normal behavior of the stock check feature by sending the original request. This will give me a baseline response to compare against when I start modifying the stock API parameter to attempt accessing the admin interface. Understanding the expected response format and behavior is crucial before attempting the SSRF attack to access http localhost/admin. So here we find a request and the response. If we hit these three dots, we get the detailed request. This is the baseline request, and this is the response. 756 is the value of the stock, the number of units in stock. Here, attempt SSRF to access admin interface. The baseline request returned a 200 status with 756 as the response, which appears to be the stock count. This confirms the stock check feature is working and the server is making requests to the external API specified in the stock API parameter. This suggests the application is vulnerable to SSRF. I am now attempting to exploit the SSRF vulnerability by changing the stock API parameter to point to localhost/admin instead of the external stock API. This should make the server request the admin interface internally. And here we can see that the stock API parameter, the value has been updated to localhost/admin. We have a 200 OK, and we have admin panel here. Great. Now we delete the user Carlos. It says, excellent, the SSRF attack worked perfectly. I successfully accessed the admin interface at localhost/admin and can see it contains HTML showing a user section with two users. These are the users. each user has a delete link, and I can see the delete URL for Carlos is /admin/delete username equal Carlos. This confirms the admin interface is accessible via SSRF, and I can see the structure needed to delete the user Carlos. Now I need to complete the lab objective by actually deleting the user Carlos. So if we click here, we can see that the stock API value is localhost/admin, then this value, which is the delete URL for Carlos, /admin/delete username equal Carlos. And here we have congratulations, you solved the lab and the user was deleted successfully. So we used AI to solve the lab, but we gave it a prompt that clearly described where the vulnerable feature is, the stock check feature, how it works, it fetches data from an internal system, and the steps to solve it. We need to first change the stock check URL to access the admin interface at http localhost/admin and delete the user Carlos. So the objective is to delete the user Carlos after accessing the admin interface at this location after we change the stock check URL value. With these steps and this explanation in the prompt and highlighting the stock API parameter in the request in repeater, the AI was able to solve the lab. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.